CR 11862, State of Texas versus Alexander Castro. Can I have parties re-announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar and Jason Garahan for the state.
Defense?
Gary Hillier and Jasmine Ogden, she will be right back, Judge.
All right. Are parties ready to proceed?
Ready, Judge, from defense.
Ready for state, Judge.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And defense, I believe it's still your witness on cross. You may
Thank you.
proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hey, officer, how you doing?
You're good, sir.
So I think we just got to the point, we dealt with the policy that you're aware of the policy we're dealing with traffic accidents, right?
Yes, sir.
And the need to warn vehicles and oncoming traffic of any danger,
Yes, sir.
using either your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
lights, Or flares.
Yes, sir.
Right, so what we're seeing now, I think this is states 1 or 2.
2.
States exhibit 2, this is your body camera, right? So I think the timestamp on it is 2:07:26. This is your camera, right? And this is you walking away from the first scene, the wrong way driver, right, back to your car.
Yes, sir.
And we'll fast forward it because we don't want to waste the court's time, but it probably takes you 3 minutes to walk back to your car. Would you agree with that? It takes the time.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. What we're seeing now, you'd agree, is the traffic that was backed up from the first accident.
Yes, sir.
You parked your car behind, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what we've seen there is that on the way, you've encountered a witness from the first incident, right? I don't want to hear what they said, but that's what happened there that we just saw.
No, sir. That was the husband of the wife.
Yeah, from the first incident.
Yes, sir.
The first accident, a witness, well, a person involved slightly in that first incident approached you, you spoke to him, that's what that person was.
Just by relation, sir. Yes. Sir.
Yeah, and now you're still walking to your car, and it's taking you nearly 3 minutes to walk back, right?
Yes, because he left his kid in the car, so I wanted to escort him back to his car.
Yeah, quite right, because kids are in a running car, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's the car on the left-hand side,
Yes, sir.
stuck in the traffic jam that's been caused by the accident.
Yes, sir.
Right, and your car is still further back behind that. I mean, your car's towards us, right? You walk past your car, you're gonna walk back to your car, right?
Yes, sir.
And so here, it's 11 minutes past 2 in the morning. The fatal accident still hasn't happened. That's your car there, right, that we see in the screen?
It looks like it, sir. I had to look at the vehicle number.
Well, we'll look in a second because I think you get into it, right? But you can see on the screen, there is a line of traffic behind your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not suggesting it goes onto the horizon, but as far as the video is concerned, that line of traffic, I'm sorry, Jason, that line of traffic goes on as far as we can see on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And to the best of your knowledge, because you're not there alone, right? You're not the only officer at that scene.
No, sir.
That no one, dispatch hasn't sent someone to the back of that line of traffic.
No, sir. We didn't ask for more.
All right, well, so you didn't ask for one, but no one else thought, oh, I know what we should do because of our policy. Someone needs to go and warn traffic.
Correct, but all of our cars are trapped in the traffic as well.
But there are other vehicles. What I'm saying is there are other vehicles in North Patrol that could have come and helped you out, right?
It's a possibility. I don't know which officers were available.
I know, I'm not saying that you do, but my point is that no one came and helped you.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Apart from the other 2 officers that went to the scene.
The original 3 of us, yes, sir, that were just.
Yeah. Dispatch didn't send someone to the back of that line of traffic extending into the distance.
No, sir.
Because at the time you're walking back there, you're aware of that policy 707, right?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of the need to, because we said everything in these policies is for a reason. right?
Yes, sir.
It's probably because sometimes people are distracted or whatever, but they run up on accident scenes and they need to be warned, right?
Yes, sir.
And no one has warned them. Oncoming traffic.
Just the initial few that made the scene.
Yeah, but no one has warned that traffic behind you at the end of that traffic line, have they?
They weren't aware of a crash, but they were aware that traffic was stopped.
Well, but yeah, I didn't ask you that. But no police car was parked at the back of that line of traffic with the flashing lights.
No, sir. The new line, no, sir.
There were no flares at the back.
No, sir.
You didn't ask anybody to do that.
No, sir.
You didn't do that.
No, sir.
Your colleagues could have done. Right?
If we had available, yes, sir.
But yeah, I know, but there's not just three of you on duty that night, right? There's not just you, Officer Lechuga and Officer Rodriguez, is there?
No, sir. There's more
No,
of us.
so there are other people who could have done it.
If they're available, yes, sir.
It's not just you, officer, is it?
No, sir.
No, you're a team, you're a whole department, so someone could have done it
Yes, sir.
and they didn't.
Like I said, I don't know if they're available or not.
I know, we don't know if they're available. What I'm saying is no one warned the people at the back of that line of traffic that there was a wreck.
No, sir.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. So you go, we're stopped at 2:11, and I think that your testimony before was that you were completely your computer checked, as is your policy and procedure, right, in your car. And I think the next thing that happened is that you had stated that Officer Lechuga and maybe Officer Rodriguez ran to your position because they presumed that you'd been involved in a wreck,
Yes, sir.
right? And obviously you can't testify for them, but they presumed that because they thought you were the last vehicle in that line of traffic, right? Probably.
I can't think for them, sir, but they just presumed that I was involved in a crash.
They presume that you're probably because you're at the back and they think someone's come and slammed into you, right?
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained.
But you said that they presume you're involved in a wreck and you weren't, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is about 22. And then, so what you did then is you got out of your car and I think it's about 2:20 on the time stamp. Here we are. So there we are. Right, we'll stop there. So this is you doing stuff on your mobile data terminal or whatever you call it, computer, right, in your car.
Yes, sir.
And you're probably inputting stuff and doing checks on the first folks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is when your colleagues come up to you and say, "Hey, did you hear that?" Or whatever they said, right?
Yes.
And based on the information they told you, you start making your way. I guess would it be south on 281?
Yes, sir. Southbound and the northbound.
Okay, and then we can at 2:19:36. I think we might have to. That's you actually filling out a ticket on the screen right now, all right?
Yes, sir.
Right, and this is, so if we pause for a second, we're at 2:23:42, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is your colleagues informing you that they'd heard that there might have been another accident.
Yes, sir.
So this is about 20, so I think we had said that you'd arrived at 1:56
Yes, sir.
on scene, so you were originally the last vehicle in the line of traffic. That was as far as you could drive to walk down towards the scene of the wrong way driver.
Yes, sir.
23 minutes have passed since then.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So you've got 23 minutes worth of highway traffic parked up behind you.
Yes, sir.
At this point, you make your way on foot, you start to walk, you said, and then in fact, you run when you identify there's been a crash. Is that kind of what happens next?
Yes, sir.
And we're going to play the video at 2:23. 44, that's Officer Lechuga and Rodriguez, and then you're going to start moving off, right?
Yes, sir.
Whose vehicle is that in the shot there?
It was one of theirs.
And this one we're looking at now is yours, right?
It looks to be, yes, sir.
And so now what we're doing is we're watching you walk. We're going to watch you walk through the traffic that has blocked up or built up behind your car to the scene, Mr. Castro, right?
Yes, sir.
And is Mr. Castro the first person that you encountered that was involved in the wreck?
No, sir.
He wasn't, okay. It was the driver of the HEB truck?
No, sir. It was the driver of the Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, yeah, right. You've been walking 2 minutes, maybe. At this point, the timestamp is 2:25. I
Yes, sir.
think you left your car at 2:23.
It's roughly about that. Yes, sir.
2:23, so it's roughly 2 minutes, and you're walking past high-sided vehicles on the screen there.
Yes, sir.
And you're still not at the end of the line of traffic that's built up behind that initial crash or behind your vehicle.
No, sir.
Right. Right, okay. And so what we've seen is there's been a change in your method of approach. You're now running, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's because you've identified the fact that there's been another wreck.
Yes, sir.
Right, and that's at 2:25:40. And you see, you'd agree with me, officer, that on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see it in front of you, right?
Yes, sir.
On the right-hand side of the screen, there's like a high-sided box kind of truck on the right there,
Yes, sir.
and there's another vehicle. But again, that line of traffic has continued from the back of your car, and it's still extending far back, right? As far as we can see.
Yes, sir.
And you've now been on foot for nearly 3.5, 4 minutes, walking through that traffic backlog, right?
Yes, sir.
And you can now just about see the wreck in the distance. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Right, and we're going to pause it there at 2:26:21. And that is that gentleman that you're talking to. I don't know what he's saying. I don't want to know, but that's the gentleman who was driving the Volkswagen.
Yes, sir.
So would it be fair to say that you didn't finish investigating the first crash, did you?
No, sir.
Because you got distracted by this.
Yes, sir.
And this one was much more serious, right?
Yes, sir.
So that kind of explains why you didn't finish the first one.
Yes, sir.
Right, so this is you speaking to the first driver that you encounter,
Yes, sir.
and then we're going to fast forward to when you meet my client, if we can. Please. Pause there. Thank you. So it's 2:26:48. So, officer, right. You've never met Mr. Castro before,
No, sir.
never met him since.
No, sir.
No. And so you know through your training experience, you went to the academy like how many years ago? 5 years ago, we said.
Roughly, yes, sir.
You how many DWIs have you investigated?
Over a dozen, sir. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, over a dozen, right? Okay. And so you've done, I imagine, how many investigations have you done into driving while intoxicated?
Quite a few, sir.
Quite a few. I mean, I don't want you. Is it more than 20?
It would be safe to say, but like I said, I don't have an exact number.
Because what I'm going to say is, what I mean, where I'm trying to go with that is, with your training experience, you know it when you see it, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you use in your initial interaction with a member of the public, when you either stop them or come across them, like here, is you using your senses, right?
Yes, sir.
And that includes using your eyes,
Yes, sir.
using your ears,
Yes, sir.
right, and using your smell. And this might sound overly simplistic, but these are some of the things that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration talks about, and that's NHTSA, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's the government organisation that it's the organization that trains officers in the detection of intoxicated drivers.
Yes, sir.
And you're trained on their manuals.
Briefly, yes, sir.
Yeah, you are. That's the only training that you get from NHTSA, right?
Yes, sir.
And they talk about clues. You look for clues in an individual to see if they're intoxicated, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree with me there are 10 post-stop cues or clues.
I wouldn't know the exact number.
If I tell you that there are 10 listed in the manual, would you have any reason to doubt me?
I would have no reason to doubt you right now, sir.
No. But what I'm going to say is that they are slurred speech, right?
Yes, sir.
The odor of intoxicants coming off their breath,
Yes, sir.
right? Because someone who has a drink, it goes into their mouth and into their stomach and it gets metabolized, right? You know that from your training experience.
Yes, sir.
And then what comes from that is the odor comes back up through the stomach and you can't tell what they've been drinking, right?
Not really, sir.
You can't say if someone's had wine or beer, right? Unless it's in their mouth still.
Correct. Yes, sir.
It's just the odor of metabolized alcohol.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't notice any of those on Mr. Castro.
No, sir.
Now, this is just the initial interaction you have with him. I stopped it for a reason because you spend some time with him, a few seconds now, but over your interaction, you're at the scene with him for nearly 4 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've been interviewed about this case a lot.
Yes, sir.
And you've maintained throughout there were no signs of intoxication from Alex Castro, right?
From my view, no, sir.
In your experience, I'm not asking you to tell anyone else, but you've arrested people for DWI
Plenty of times, yes, sir.
plenty of times, right? And in your report, you routinely say he had red bloodshot eyes or she had red bloodshot glossy eyes, right?
Depending on what I observe, yes, sir.
I mean, these are some of the common observations. Red bloodshot glossy eyes is one of them.
Yes, sir.
Slurred speech is one of them,
Yes, sir.
right? And Judge, May, you said I can move around the court, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you. You know, being unsteady on your feet is one of them, right? That's an observation that comes.
Well, I mean, you can move around the courtroom if you're approaching the witness,
Oh, well,
but if
look.
you're doing demonstrations.
Thank you. You know, being unsteady on their feet is one of them.
Yes, sir.
Staggering is one of them.
Yes, sir.
And the point I'm trying to make, you didn't notice any of that with Mr. Castro.
No, sir.
And the importance of that is you now know, right, at the time, you're just doing your initial investigation of the second crash. And you don't even know that Ms. Seaver is very badly injured at this point, right? But right?
At this point, yes, sir.
But what you find out shortly after is that Mr. Castro has been in a wreck where his vehicle is like not rolled end on end, but it's kind of rolled side on side.
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree with me that according to your training and experience, that can bring on that rotational effect on the body and the inner ear can bring on what's called horizontal gaze nystagmus, right?
Yes, sir.
And that is one of the primary clues that you look for in a DWI investigation.
For individuals under depressants, yes, sir.
Or for DWI with either through alcohol or drugs, right?
Depressant drugs.
Yeah, maybe, but like either one, you'd expect to see nystagmus in the eyes, right? Sometimes
If it's alcohol or a depressant drug, yes, sir.
you'd expect to see somebody intoxicated, and you might also see that in somebody who's been like spun around really quick on a circus ride.
Correct.
It's called rotational nystagmus, right? According to NHTSA.
Yes, sir.
There's also post-rotational nystagmus, right? Where kind of like where somebody's been spun and the inner ear's been spun and their gyroscope is off and it can cause your eye to jump.
Yes, sir.
That can happen as well. And you didn't notice that in Mr. Castro when you meet him now, right?
No, sir.
Because you'd agree with me that we've been watch this video, but he's literally getting out of the car. That accident just happened.
Yes, sir.
And if he was going to have any of those signs, he's going to have them then.
Yes, sir.
So you're the best person on that scene that we've got depicted here to notice any signs of intoxication by him. Mr. Castro.
Yes, sir.
Because you qualified by your training experience, you've done this dozens of times.
Yes, sir.
You know it when you see it.
Most of the times, yes, sir.
Most of the time, yeah. Because you're human, you get it wrong, but you didn't notice it in him, right?
No, sir.
Gonna play the video at 2:27.
What's up, man? I'm okay. What happened? I don't remember what it's about.
So. Thanks. I was going to say, but this hand was in the way. So you see, behind him, you see all the airbags deployed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so in a normal investigation, because there are different ways that officers can come into contact with members of the public, right?
Yes, sir.
You can do like a consent, a normal search, or a normal encounter with somebody where they say, officer, can I talk to you about something? That would be called a consent encounter.
Yes, sir.
There can be one where you say, hey, you're speeding or you're not wearing your seatbelt, and that would be a traffic stop, right?
Yes, sir.
Or something like this, which is called a community caretaking.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
what?
Community caretaking, I'm sorry. Where, you're there to make sure everyone's safe.
Yes, sir.
But in your report, you would notice if it was a DWI investigation, which it's not, you would report you're trained to observe how people get out of vehicles. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because that's called initial contact, according to NHTSA,
Yes, sir.
or personal contact. So a DWI investigation is split up into phases, right?
Correct.
There's the vehicle in motion,
Yes, sir.
stopping sequence, right?
Yes, sir.
Where you stop and then an exit sequence, right? So what we've just watched, or what we're watching now, is called the exit sequence, called the exit, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're trained to note in your report, and in fact, you make no observations in your report that Mr. Castro had any difficulty getting out of his car.
No, sir.
You're trained to say if they stumble, right?
Yes, sir.
If they can't get the seatbelt on,
Yes, sir.
if they've got any kind of problems with their motor functions, which might indicate intoxication.
Yes, sir.
If they're holding onto the door pillar to get out of the car,
Yes, sir.
if they get out of the car and they have to lean on the car.
Yes, sir.
You're trained to, that's what I mean, there's all these clues that you're trained to observe.
Yes, sir.
And you probably regularly observe these with members of the public.
More than I would like to. Yes, sir.
But you do. And we can agree that this is about as serious an incident you can ever go to as an officer, right?
One of them. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it is. And you didn't notice any of those things with Mr. Castro.
No, sir.
Now, so he speaks to you here, and you get an initial account of what happens, and then you say, "Hey, there's another car," and you leave, right?
Yes, sir.
But
Over there. Yeah, I had my base and everybody talking. I couldn't stop time now. Oh, there's another car.
so you see one up to the rear of Mr. Castro's vehicle, which is very damaged. You see one of your colleagues running off because they probably identified Miss Seabrook, right?
They observed the vehicle. Yes,
They
sir.
observed the vehicle. Yeah, I'm sorry. They observed a very badly damaged vehicle with someone who's injured in it. And so they're running off, and you say, "Oh, I'm going to go," right?
Yes, sir.
But are you aware of what's perceptual distortions to you? The phrase perceptual distortions.
Perceiving something that may be farther than it actually is.
Well, what about auditory exclusion? You know what that is, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, what's that?
Basically, when you're under high levels of stress, you lose your sense of hearing.
So perceptual distortions, right? You've been trained on that at the academy,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. And would you agree with me that would be where you under, did you say high level? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Auditory exclusion is where sometimes your hearing closes down. What did you say? Sorry, officer.
High levels of stress.
Under high levels of stress, right? You'd agree with me that that man on the screen, I mean, despite what's happened, he's been in a rollover accident, right?
Yes, sir.
So right now, he doesn't really know what's going on.
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustain.
But you know what auditory exclusion is?
Yes, sir.
And you know that stressful through your training experience. In fact, you felt that in this incident yourself, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
You remember being interviewed and you told people that that's what you experienced in this incident.
Yes, sir.
Right, because it must be terribly stressful, right?
Yes, sir.
For everybody involved,
Yes, sir.
right? And that means that sometimes you can perceive things differently because of the stress that comes on you.
Yes, sir.
Right. So from now you run to Miss Siebert, right?
Yes, sir.
And you help there. Okay. But eventually you come back. Can we go to 226? Where are we? So what you're gonna do is go to the other
Hi,
vehicle.
I got EMS coming to check you out. Bear with me.
Yeah. Because. There you go. We're gonna pause it there real quick. This is you at Miss Sievert's vehicle. The prosecutor asked you earlier, about the vehicles that were slowing down, because now you're basically, this accident has happened and there's vehicles building up behind it right now as we speak, right? While we're watching it, as you perceive it in real time, there were vehicles breaking and coming up to this accident. There was traffic building up again behind it.
Yes, sir.
Right, and the prosecutor asked you, you said that you, at this point, I believe about this point, if we play it, you're trying to slow that traffic down.
Trying to get their attention, yes, sir.
Yeah, and how are you doing that at this point?
Using my flashlight and trying to shine it at them.
Yeah, and so how are you gonna motion in something? You had your flashlight in your hand
Yes, sir.
and you were flashing it at traffic,
Yes, sir.
and what was that to do?
Try to get their attention.
And also, because the prosecutor asked you, were they slowing down?
When I got their attention, yes.
Yeah. So you needed to get their attention to slow them down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because and it's not a trick question. There's still vehicles coming at you, despite the second accident. There's a line of traffic approaching behind you, and you're still having to slow them down with your flashlight,
Yes, sir.
and that's actually working, right?
To a degree, yes, sir.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, you know, thank goodness it wasn't another accident. But at this point, there's still no one stopping traffic. You're the only one now with your flashlight, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
See if we can see that. My passport. Where? Trying to see you. Because look, you've got vehicles driving through the debris there. Keep going. There you go, stop. So that you can see that what we just saw there is that you've still got, there's still a need, officer, because otherwise you wouldn't have done it, right? For you to shine your flashlight on people, even though there's uniformed police cars with a very severely damaged car, you still felt the need at the time to flash at people to slow them down.
That was all we had at the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's all you had. That's all you could do. Your car's stuck down there. But you'd agree with me that what should have happened is someone should have been behind you warning traffic. Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And in fact, Mr. Escobar asked you, and I believe it was later on, he said to you something along the lines of, what's the difference now on your Coban? Can you switch to stage one, Daniel? I don't know. 301. And your Coban is your dash camera. We're gonna fast forward it because it's, like you said, you were there for 7 hours. It's very long. So what's happened here? This is your dash cam, right?
Yes, sir.
Also known as a Coban for San Antonio Police.
Back then, yes, sir.
All right, it's not called that anymore.
No, sir.
All right,
switched
it's your
over to
dash
speed.
cam. Right, it's your dash cam. This is a forward-facing camera. Now, what's happened here is you've driven around and you're repositioning your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
The prosecutors asked you, Mr. Escobar asked you, are you going? You're on 281 now, right? What we're looking at here.
Yes, sir.
Are you heading south or north? Have you done the turnaround yet?
Looks like I've done the north, the turnaround, because it looks like TBC exits right there.
Okay, and I didn't mean to talk over you. So TPC exit, I can't see that, but you're heading back to the accident scene.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the prosecutor said to you, what's different?
Yes, sir.
And you said the road's closed, right? Can we just watch it? Because we've got some flashing warning signs ahead. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what are they? What can we see on the left-hand side of the screen from the left-hand barrier?
Flares
Flares. And what are they for?
to help get people's attention
And that's, now the scene is properly secure.
to the best of our ability. Yes, sir.
So, but obviously everything's to the best of your ability, right? But but that's when the prosecutor was saying to you, what's the difference now? The highway is closed and the scene is safe.
Yes, sir.
And if it had been like this before, then is to the best of your ability or someone else's ability in the police, not just you, if someone else had,
I'm gonna object to testimony.
Sustained.
if somebody had followed that policy, there's a policy, right, 707,
Yes, sir.
and the first thing in 707, it's called responding to crashes.
Yes, sir.
And part of it says about the first thing is under that heading, this public document that you discussed is that you're to move a vehicle and use the flashing lights,
Yes, sir.
right? And that's to warn people about the crash,
Yes, sir.
right? And to protect people from injury,
Yes, sir.
right? And that didn't happen, but it's happened now.
I'm gonna. I withdraw my objection.
You can answer that. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that it's happened now, so the scene is secure.
Yes, sir.
If this had happened before, it might have prevented that.
I'm gonna
second
object to
accident.
speculation.
Sustained.
Should this, the way the scene looks now, should the scene have looked like this before, according to your policy?
It would have been an option. Yes, sir.
Objection to speculation.
That'll be overruled.
So it would have been an option.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it would have been an option, but you agree with me that according to your policy, that's what should have been happening.
I'm gonna object to speculation.
That'll be overruled.
You can answer, so according to your policy, I'm not asking you to speculate, oh, well, this or that should have
All
happened.
right, counsel, please just ask the question.
According to your policy, this is the way, what we're seeing now at 30137, this scene is properly secured and there's sufficient warning to oncoming traffic.
Yes, sir.
Right, and that's what it should have looked like before.
I'm gonna object to speculation.
That'll be overruled.
According to your policy, you can answer, officer, please.
Yes, sir. That would have been right.
And then so I want to talk to you about something else that we talked about earlier, and I want to revisit it. So we said that one of the purposes of an investigation, or one of the things of an investigation, is split witnesses up,
Yes, sir.
and it's difficult to do, right?
Yes, sir.
And you do it to the best of your ability,
Yes, sir.
right? But there came a time when you'd agree, and we watched the video earlier. Mr. Castro said you go back to him at around 3:10, like an hour maybe later. And he then says to you, hey, you've asked him several times what's happening and what's happened. And originally he doesn't know he's hit something, right? And then he's landed on the Volkswagen. Right, that's kind of what he said the first time.
He said he believed he hit the truck.
Yeah,
Big
you're right, you're right. Sorry, thank
All
you.
right, so everyone, I'm going to say this for the last time. The court reporter can only take down one person at a time. So question needs to be asked. After the question is asked, witness will answer, and then the next question will be asked. I know sometimes we talk conversationally, but when we're talking conversationally, court reporter can't take down everything, and jurors can't hear everything. All right, ask your next question.
Mr. Judge, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I'm trying, Judge. Can't remember what I said. Yes, so yeah, Mr. Castro said that he thought he hit the truck. And the truck being there was an HEB truck and trailer there, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, he did kind of hit it a little bit. He kind of bumped into it.
According to TID's investigation, yes.
Yeah, I mean, do you know that from speaking to your colleagues at the scene?
After TID made scene, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not asking you, I know you're not a crash reconstructionist, I know you're not, but from talking to your colleagues, you know that he did actually come to rest and touch that truck.
Yes, sir.
And you know that his vehicle went airborne and landed on the Volkswagen.
Yes, sir.
And his initial account was, I hit him, I don't know how, to that effect, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's his initial effect, comments to you when you pull him out of his car, out of his truck. And he didn't know how he went airborne, but he knew he was in the air.
He didn't mention he was airborne the first time, but he just said he hit the brakes.
Yeah, hit the brakes and then he's in the air. All right, serious. right?
Around the third time when I talked to him, he said he rolled.
Because you spoke to him several times.
Yes, sir.
Right, and eventually you get to a point when he tells you that he didn't know what he flipped on, and he didn't know it was a woman in that other vehicle till one of the other officers had told him, right?
I don't know. I wasn't there when he mentioned that.
If we show you a video, would it, your body camera, would it refresh your memory?
It'll refresh my memory of where it happened, but
Yeah.
I don't recall that.
Okay, well, we'll.
Excuse me. So is someone seeking to refresh his memory?
We're just gonna watch the video again, Judge.
No, my question is someone seeking to refresh your memory? Because if someone is seeking to refresh your memory, then the jury needs to step outside while a memory is being refreshed, unless no one has any objections to a memory being refreshed contrary to the rules.
We can excuse the jury, Judge, if that helps.
No, I mean,
Judge, no objection from the state.
all right, you can refresh his memory in front of the jury if it can.
I'm like, where's you at? And I was like trying to put it in my GPS. And that little Honda just like came into me and like slid over me. What do you mean the Honda slid into you? I don't know, it seemed like into me, like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, or I didn't know it was her actually, until the officer told me it was her. Yeah, so it was right.
So, yeah, that was you talking to Mr. Castro, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree that he says that he didn't even know it was a girl or a her until another officer told him that it was.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Right, so he's been given that information by someone else.
Yes, sir.
In fact, a police officer, maybe.
Possibly I wasn't.
I'm just saying, you know, because it's a difficult scene to keep people separate and isolated, right?
Yes, sir.
And so at this point, was he free to leave?
No, sir.
No. And so, because if he'd have tried to, because you earlier you said that he was asking one of your colleagues, he being Mr. Castro, asked if he could leave. And he was told he couldn't, right?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
2 hours after, it was 2 hours after the fact.
Sounds about right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so if he'd have, I know he didn't, but if he'd have, in your training and experience, and you as an officer, if he'd have tried to run away, what would you have done?
Brought him back to the scene.
You just run after him and stopped him. Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not a trick question, I promise. But, and you'd agree with me that he said, hey, I don't mind giving you a statement, but can I go? Words to those effect?
To that effect, yes, sir.
Yeah. And he said, words to the effect of, my wife's here, can I go and see my wife?
He did mention that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and he wasn't allowed to go and see his wife.
No, sir.
No. And you, in fact, at one point told one of your colleagues, look, I can't cut him loose.
Yes, sir.
And by that, I imagine that's a police term for like, I can't let him go. Right.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so, you know, the jury might not know that, but there are no magic words for arresting somebody, are there, in your job? You don't have to say you're under arrest.
I'm gonna object to that's a legal conclusion.
Sustained.
So, you know, well, yeah, you don't have to tell someone they're under arrest for them to be under arrest, right?
I'm gonna object, that's a legal conclusion.
Any other objections?
No, Judge.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
Sorry. Officer, when you arrest people, do you say, hey, you're under arrest?
Yes, sir.
You do, but so you do?
Yes, sir.
Do you have to?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
No, right. You don't have to say you're under arrest for this offense.
I'm gonna object to relevance.
All right, that'll be sustained. And the question has already been asked and answered as well.
But either way, at this point, Mr. Castro is not free to leave. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, four.
I'm gonna object to asked and answered.
Sustained.
But the time at this point when he's not free to leave is 4:21.
That sounds about
All
right.
right, the objection has been sustained.
Oh, sorry, Judge. I thought we lost a different question. But that wasn't the last time people spoke to Mr. Castro about what happened.
That is correct.
Right, after he'd been told he can't leave.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
So he's not under arrest at this point.
No, sir.
It's yours, but he's being detained.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible that he thinks he's under arrest?
I'm gonna object to speculation.
Sustained.
Just pass the witness, thank you.
State, redirect.
Very brief, Judge. You were dealing with that first accident for about 20 minutes, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How many other accidents occurred while you were out there dealing with that first accident?
Only one, sir.
And which one was that?
The one involving Mr. Castro.
Now, defense has talked a lot about SAPD policy and about, I believe the document they're reading from, it said to park the police vehicle, utilize emergency lights and flashers in a manner that best provides warning of the crash to approaching vehicles to protect persons from injury and to provide other emergency vehicles access to the scene. That's the complete portion. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that what you did?
Yes, sir.
What time did that second crash happen at?
Around 2:20, 2:24.
Well, what happens at 2?
Reckless drivers come out.
Sorry.
Reckless drivers come out.
And again, I'll ask again, what happens at 2 a.m.?
The bars close.
Now, you heard him give his story at least 4 times, right?
Yes, sir.
The first 3 times, did he ever change many details?
No, sir.
It was generally the same story.
Yes, sir.
And you would agree that there was quite a bit of time between when he gave the first story to when he gave the last story.
Object to leading.
Sustained.
How much time passed between his first story and his third story?
At least over 2 hours.
And they were relatively consistent.
The first 3, yes, sir.
What changed in the last one?
He claimed that the Honda was driving erratic and was bumping from median to median.
Did any other witness say that?
No, sir.
His defense asked, couldn't he have changed his story because he heard someone else say it?
Yes, sir.
Ask the witness.
Judge,
Recross, yes.
Be very brief, Judge, because I
No.
forgot to do something earlier. Officer, have you still got that policy in front of you there? That, you got it right.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's the same policy that the officer was talking, Mr. Escobar was talking about.
Yes, sir.
Can I grab it real quick? Judge, I'm gonna offer defense 1, into evidence. Judge opposing counsel for.
No objection.
All right. Defense number 1, that's the manual.
Well, no, Judge, it's the SAPD policy on traffic accidents.
All right, the defense exhibit number 1, so the record is clear. What specifically is defense exhibit number 1?
San Antonio Police Department General Manual, Procedure 707, crash investigation.
All right, and how many pages is it?
It's 5 pages.
All right, it's 5 pages, defense exhibit number 1. Any objection state?
Your Honor, I would object just because there are markings that are on that copy unless it's a fresh copy that is.
All right, could I see defense exhibit number 1, please? All right, if I could have parties approach. is admitted without objection.
Because I want to clear up a tiny bit of confusion, maybe it's me. Is I know we've been over this in detail, right? You're aware of this policy. Now this is in evidence, right? It says, come down to, on the first page, 0.04 responding to crashes. Right.
Yes, sir.
Now, with regards to the crash with the wrong way driver, right? You agree with me that you parked your police vehicle utilizing emergency lights and flashes,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. And then you, and I believe the testimony was that you had walked. It was approximately, and I don't want to misrepresent what you said, about 200 yards from your car to the actual scene of the crash, the wrong way driver crash.
That was my guess. Yes, sir.
And approximately that traffic buildup that happened in 1 minute, right?
It happened in a couple minutes because we arrived at 1:55, but the call came in earlier. I don't know the exact time. I don't have I don't have the IDR.
And again, you I think you testified that it was at 1:55 that you were dispatched around.
That's when I arrived on scene, sir.
Yeah, okay. So, and you were dispatched a couple of minutes before.
Yes, sir.
And already there was a 200-yard, in your estimation, line of traffic.
Yes, sir.
Right, so and you did put your vehicle there with the flashing lights on.
Yes, sir.
But you were on scene for 25 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
And you went back to your vehicle to write your report and do your checks.
Sounds about right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, doing your computer checks, you got your driver's licenses and you checked to see if everyone's got warrants and all that sort of thing, right?
And to verify they actually have licenses.
And yeah, and to verify all that because you're supposed to. But remember, we looked at the video when you went back to your car, as far as you could see, there was traffic parked behind your car.
Yes, sir.
There was no one at the back of that line of traffic warning anyone else that there was a wreck.
No, sir.
Right, okay. And that's what this policy demands.
Yes, sir.
You didn't do it?
For the second crash, no, sir.
No. You didn't ask anyone else to do it?
Initially, no, sir.
And dispatch didn't do it?
No, sir.
No. So that scene, the second scene, was completely unprotected,
Yes, sir.
contrary to the police department policy.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking about the second crash, the serious one.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you, so got password.
Nothing further from state.
Is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excuse from state.
No objection, just.
Oh, is he excused?
Yes, Jim.
All right. If you'll leave the documents behind, remember the rule has been invoked. What that means is you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone or view anything. Only persons, if you have to speak to someone, you're allowed to speak to our attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does anybody need a break? If not, we'll go on to the next witness. All right. Okay. State, call your next witness.
The state calls Sydney Fusca.
Let's go over here. Mic on.
Can you hear me?
Is it on?
As far as I'm aware, yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Is it green?
Yes.
Can you hear very well? Can you project your voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hi, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, have a seat. All right, state your name for the record.
Sydney Fusca,
All right, and if you can spell your name, please.
SYDNEYFUSCA.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear and the court reporter can hear.
Yes.
All right, state.
Sydney, who do you work for?
I'm currently employed with the San Antonio Police Department.
And what do you do with the San Antonio Police Department?
I'm a crime scene investigator.
Crime scene investigator, so a CSI.
Yes, CSI.
So what do you do specifically as a CSI?
So my job is I photograph crime scenes. I collect evidence at crime scenes. I take sketches of crime scenes and record video at crime scenes.
And how long have you been doing this for?
2 years.
And what type of training did you receive in order to become a CSI?
I received 360 hours of training.
And what type of scenes do you usually respond to?
I respond to a variety of scenes, so smaller offenses such as burglaries, family violence, as well as your higher offenses, so murders, shootings, cuttings, major accidents, and sexual assaults.
And were you working on July 22nd of 2022?
Can I have my report to refresh my memory, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Just remember to please don't read off directly off of it, just refresh your memory and then you can answer the question.
Yes, I was working that evening.
And were you called out to the scene of an accident in the early morning hours of July 22nd of 2022?
Yes,
And where did you have to respond to?
I responded to the northbound lanes of Highway 281,
And what were you responding out there for?
a major accident.
And do you remember what time did you get there?
I got there approximately 3:30.
And when you got out to that scene, what were your duties when you went out there?
So my initial duties were to photograph the scene. So I was photographing all the vehicles involved, as well as the markings on the road.
Sydney, I'm approaching you with what's being marked as citizen number 3. You recognize this?
I do.
What is it?
This is a DVD containing the photos I took from this scene.
And are these all the photos you took at that scene?
Yes.
Okay, and as far as you're aware, are the photos that are contained on this disc, are they true and accurate depictions of what you saw at that scene?
Yes.
Your Honor, say what Officer states exhibit number 3.
It's ready to proceed?
Yes,
All right, let's bring the jurors back in.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And you are still under oath and state you are on direct examination, I believe. You
Thank
may
you, Judge.
proceed.
Thank you. I'm going to show you what's been marked as state exhibits 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I recognize all of these.
And what are they?
These are photographs of the accident involving the vehicles that were involved.
And so you're the person that took these photographs,
Yes, I am.
and they're true and accurate to what you saw that day.
Yes.
Your Honor, statement offer states exhibit number 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Any objections?
Yes, Judge. Mayor,
Yes. And if I could see states exhibits 4, 5, 6, and 7, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 5 is withdrawn. States exhibit number 4, 6, and 7 will be admitted into evidence.
And Judge, do you still have 7?
Yes,
Thank you. Your Honor, permission to publish?
granted.
So, Anthony, what are these photographs generally of?
Generally, they're of the accident, with the vehicles that were involved in the accident.
All right, Daniel, make sure you keep your voice up because the
sorry.
court reporter has to
Sorry.
take it down.
I said to please pass it to the next person when you're done. Approaching with state exhibit number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. What are these photographs of?
These are photographs of the Honda Civic that was involved in the accident.
And are these true and accurate to what you saw that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 8 through 12.
Yes. is going to admit states exhibit number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So those exhibits will be admitted into evidence. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. Photograph and pass it to the next year. I'm showing you what's being marked. It's marked a little bit ahead. It states exhibit number 71. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the victim's card.
Okay, and is this a true and accurate depiction of their car?
Yes.
And has it appeared to you on the night that you took it?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 71.
All right, if you approach. Exhibit number 71 is admitted without objection.
Your Honor, permission to publish?
Granted.
Again. Exhibit number 71. What angle is this of?
This is from the rear driver's side facing the vehicle.
All right, do you want the witness to step into the well? And defense, again, you can move throughout the courtroom.
And again, permission to publish, Judge?
Yes. And you're more than welcome to step down from the witness stand.
And again, so this was a different angle of the vehicle that you saw that night. Thank you. Sydney, I'm showing you what's been marked already previously as state exhibit number 14 through 24. Do you recognize these photographs?
Yes, I do.
What are these photographs of?
These are photos of the truck that was involved in the accident.
And are these true and accurate depictions of what you observed that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 14, and I believe it's through 24.
Yes. States Exhibit 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Granted.
Sydney, I'm showing you. The marked. And States Exhibit number 25. Through 30. Do you recognize these?
Yes, I do.
What are these photos of?
These are photos indicating the AOI, otherwise known as the area of impact, so where the actual collision occurred with the vehicles.
And is there anything different from some of the photos that we've seen previously? What's new?
So TID, traffic investigations, they came out and they will spray paint the roadway markings to indicate the path that each vehicle took, either prior to or after the accident occurred.
And are these true and accurate depictions of what you saw that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer States Exhibit number 25, and I believe that's true 30.
All right, if you approach. Twenty-six, 27, 28, 29, and 30 aren't minutes.
Commissioner Publisher.
Granted.
Make sure. So I'm showing you with the marked of States Exhibit number 31 through 35. Do you recognize these?
Yes, I do.
And what are these photographs of?
These are photographs of the roadway with the spray paint markings to indicate the pathway that both the Honda Civic took as well as the Chevy truck.
And we're seeing some of we're seeing two different colors of spray paint, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, what colors are we seeing?
We are seeing yellow and orange.
And why are there different colors used in these photographs?
So TID will assign a color to each vehicle to indicate which vehicle took which pathway. So the yellow is belonging to the Honda Civic and the orange is belonging to the truck.
Your Honor, or states exhibit number 31 through, I believe it's 35. 35, thank you. Are those true and accurate depictions of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 31 through 35.
Yes.
And 35 are admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Permission to publish?
Granted.
Can you step down from below? Yeah. I wanted to show you the state exhibit number 71. Can you see the make and the make of this car? Say it on the vehicle, you still view.
No. Or actually, it's right here.
So I think earlier you referred to it as
I did, yes.
so earlier you referred to it as a civic, is that
Yes.
correct?
I did, yes.
And it's actually in the Ford.
It is in the Ford, yes. I was honest.
Thank you. You can continue. And I'm showing you with the margin seats exhibit number 37 through 54. Do you recognize these photographs? What's the last?
54.
54, man. Thank you.
Yes, I do.
And what are these photographs of?
These are photographs of the roadway to include any debris or markings from the vehicles or markings made by TID.
And primarily, what colors featured in these photographs?
Mostly orange and yellow.
So, Your Honor, and are these true and accurate depictions of the scene that you saw that morning?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 37 through 54.
All right. Oh, yes, come forward. All right, State's Exhibit number 37 through 54 are admitted.
You just first to publish?
Granted,
I'm showing you states exhibit number 55 and 59. Recognize these?
Yes, I do.
Now, what are these photographs of?
These are photographs involving the Chevy truck as well as the Volkswagen.
And what's different, or are there is there anything different about states exhibit number 55 through 59 that don't appear in the other photographs?
This third vehicle, the Volkswagen,
Well, and is there another spray paint that we're now seeing?
the green spray paint.
And are these true and accurate depictions of the scene that you photographed that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, State would offer states exhibit number 55 through 59. No objection, Judge.
all right, State's Exhibits 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59 are admitted without objection.
Permission, publish, Judge.
Granted,
And if you could please take that. Project was states 64 through 57. What are these photographs of?
So exhibits 64, 65, and 66 are the southward perspective with the accident in the background, so facing south. Exhibit 67 is south of the accident, but facing northward towards where the accident occurred.
Now, why did you take these photographs?
These were photographs requested to be taken by TID to show the line of sight of the accident from coming north from the highway.
So in essence, you're looking south from where the accident happened.
Yes, so these three are looking southwards from the accident, and 67 is looking northwards towards the accident.
How far back did you have to walk in order to get those photos?
I'm unsure.
But do they depict the same scene that you took photos of that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, State would offer states exhibit number 64 through 67.
yes.
This group of photographs, I'm showing you something with the mark is exhibit number 68 through 70. What are these photographs of?
These photographs are of the third vehicle that was involved in the accident.
And these are without any markings present, correct?
Correct.
And these photographs give an angle of what the vehicle looked like whenever you saw them.
Correct.
Your Honor, state what offer states exhibit number 68 through 70.
Yes. Objection, granted.
Showing the jury 68, 69, and 70. Your Honor, pass the witness.
All right, defense,
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
is that the right pronunciation?
Yes, Fusca.
Thank you, man. I just have a couple of questions for you.
Yeah, of course.
So how long have you been a CSI? 2 years?
2 years.
And you basically, when you're called to a scene, you go wherever they send you.
Yes, correct.
And on that, were you aware that on this night in question, the 22nd of July in 2022, there are actually 2 accident scenes that night?
I was not.
You weren't aware that there was a wrong-way driver that caused a wreck half a mile in front of this one?
I'm going to object to relevance.
sustained.
Were you asked to take photos of another accident scene on the same day?
No, just this accident.
You weren't asked to take pictures of an accident scene half a mile down the road?
No, just this accident.
Do you know who was the driver in the other vehicles?
No,
You don't know who Shayna Alassel is?
no.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. No further questions. Pass the witness, please.
Nothing from the state judge.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excuse.
Excuse me.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. If you need to speak with someone, the only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state of the defense. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you may step down. Can I see both parties, please? Ken. The state is calling their next witness. That's okay.
Josh Ben, Your Honor.
Hello. If you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Have a seat, please. If you'll state your name and spell it for the record.
My name's Joshua Garland Ben, Behn, and my age is 25.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so the members of the jury and the court reporter can hear. State, you may proceed with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. And like the judge said, Josh, just speak up, and if you need that microphone a little bit closer, because everybody all the way over here needs to hear you, and I'm a little hard of hearing. So just speak up, all right? One, can you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
Hi, again, my name is Joshua Garland Ben. I'm 25. I'm grown up in San Antonio my whole life for the most part. I'm from Benco, Texas. Born in Fredericksburg. That was the closest place. And I have one blood sibling, my younger brother Evan, two parents who are divorced. I go on about knowing Alex.
Right, hold on. Hey, one, I know
Sorry.
you're a little nervous, okay? Just take it easy and just listen to the questions when I ask you questions or when defense counsel asks you questions, okay? And so just take it down a notch. I understand you're gonna be nervous up there, right?
Yes, sir.
One, thanks for introducing yourself to the jury, but go ahead and tell me, how do you know, well, Alex?
I know Alex from Cordillera Ranch. It's our workplace where I met her and I currently still work there.
And was she working there at the time too?
Yes, she was there before me.
And you know the Alexandra Shea West Suburb?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And y'all work together at this, I guess, sort of like a club or
Country club, yes,
where
sir.
is that located at?
It's located in Bernie, Texas.
And at the time, back in 2022, how long you worked there?
I've been there since 2020. It'll be 4 years in August.
And what about, do you still currently work there?
I still currently work there, yes, sir.
So back in 22, you worked there, and then now up to the day, 2 years later, you've worked there. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And at the time, back in 2022, particularly July of 2022, was Alex also working there?
Yes, sir.
And was she working there before you or after you?
Yes, sir. Before.
Before? And I guess that's how you met her. At some point, did y'all develop a relationship?
Yes, sir.
And what type of relationship was that?
Dating.
Dating? Okay. And so y'all began to date. I guess, did y'all have some common interests?
Yes, sir.
And what were some of those common interests?
Golf, liked watching Spurs games, Astros games, George Strait, him being a member out there, so that was one of her favorite music artists.
So this club that y'all worked at was actually seemed like a pretty nice club.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you mentioned the name George Strait, so he's around there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you had some celebrities out there, so it was sort of nice to be out there, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And nice environment.
Yes, sir.
And then you also stated that y'all played golf. Did she also play golf?
Yes, sir. It was something we got into together.
So y'all would actually play golf together?
Yes, sir.
And did she go to college?
Yes, sir. She recently graduated from UTSA shortly before passing away.
You want to come here, approach me briefly?
Yes.
Stated that she just recently graduated from UTSA.
Yes, sir.
But let's go to July 21st, 2022. And I know I've discussed that date with you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And on that particular date, did you and Alex do anything that day?
Yes, sir. As far as I remember, it was golfing that day. It was something we typically did on Thursday since we were both off every week together for the most part.
Okay, so it was a Thursday.
Yes, sir.
And where would y'all go golfing? Would it be during the, I guess, the morning, afternoon, or late?
Typically, we try to go later morning, earlier afternoon, just due to it being July during the summer. It's so hot out there. Being out there for 4 hours isn't.
Okay, so on this particular day, do you recall if y'all went in the early morning or before lunch?
I recall going earlier afternoon, later morning.
Did y'all play a round of golf?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what golf course it was at?
I want to say it was either Rebecca Creek or Almost Basin. Those were our two most frequent ones.
And when a lot of people golf, they tend to, I mean, well, I'm outing myself here, but if you golf, sometimes you drink. Were y'all drinking?
Not that I can remember, sir. It was either one or none. It's like I said, hot out there during the afternoon, and she wasn't a big drinker to begin with.
Okay. And so on that particular afternoon or morning hours or before lunch, you don't recall drinking or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. And then y'all finished up the round of golf, and then what did y'all do after that?
Most of the time after golf, we'd go eat and then go back and hang it out at my mom's house for the night. I'm pretty sure we went back to my mom's and then went to go eat a little after golf just to kind of freshen up.
And so other than, I guess, this day and the day later, it's obviously sticks out in your mind.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, other than that, throughout that day, there was nothing that stands out in your mind that's really significant. It's just a normal day playing golf and hanging out.
Yes, sir.
And so then when you stated something about your mother that at the time, were you living with your mom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at the time, how old were you at the time?
23.
23?
Yes, sir.
And how old was Alex? Do you recall?
I want to say she was 24.
Okay. And so after y'all arrived back out your mom's place and well, your place and your mom's, do you recall what y'all did that night or
Yeah.
that late after dinner?
Yes, sir. Most of the time we just watch movies, hang out, nothing crazy.
And so like going out to eat, do you recall where you went to eat?
I believe it was Texas Roadhouse that day.
Were y'all drinking there or was she drinking rather?
No, sir. Not that I can recall.
And do you recall if anybody else was with y'all at the dinner?
No, sir.
And so as it goes into the night of the 21st, I guess going into the early morning hours of the 22nd, July 22nd, 2022, was Alex still at your house?
Sir.
And at any point, did she decide to leave?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what time around that was that she was gonna leave?
It was a little later, about early 2 a.m. because I was concerned with her leaving that early or late.
And that seems I don't know, that's a late hour, to be leaving somebody's place and where was she going?
Back home, she always wanted to leave to take care of her dog,
And she had a dog,
Blue.
Blue, and I guess she cared for that dog. She wanted to get home to it.
Probably more than anyone else, yeah.
And tell me this, what where was her home at? Where did she live at?
6475 Cheyenne Pass in Bulverde.
Okay, Bulverde. And for people that don't know, how do you get there from? Well, one, let me ask you, where was your house at? Where did you live out generally?
I live off of 1540 West Bridges Road. Also West Bridges and Heebner.
Bidders and Heebner?
Heebner Road, yes, sir.
Okay, and is that on the sort of the north side?
Northeast. I was on to Churchill High School, so northeast side, yeah.
Okay, and in this area, is it near 1604?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and to get to, you stated that her house was in Bulverde.
Yes, sir.
And how would one get to Bulverde from your house?
281.
281?
Yes, sir.
And if you headed down 281, would you be going north or south? North? Okay. And then to what road or highway would you have to go to go to her house after you're on 281?
You'd be exiting off of Bulverde Road to where it crosses up to 46.
On 46?
Yeah, close to.
Okay. So it's pretty far up north of 1604, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so did she live there alone?
No, sir.
And who does she live with?
With her parents.
Her parents?
Yes, sir.
Can we approach again briefly?
Yes.
She left your house at 2:03 AM, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And she was driving home, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And she was driving down 281, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when she was on 281, did she text you?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what she texted you?
Object to hearsay, Your Honor.
If your response to hearsay,
It's a present sense impression, Your Honor. This is right before the accident happens. And the fact is,
all right, foundation needs to be laid for present sense impression.
okay, good. Let me start here then. Did she text you at some point?
Yes, sir.
And did she text you at 2:19 AM?
Yes, sir.
You want to be our first?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what Smart State Exhibit number 74. Have you seen this document before?
Yes, sir.
Yes, speak up.
Yes, sir.
It's several pages, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
And what is this?
Me checking in on her, making sure she made it safely to her car and that she was gonna make it home safely.
And this is the text chain between you and
Alex.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in this text chain, you're conversing with her, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you converse with her, it starts at around 2:03 AM, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the last text you received from her is at 2:21 AM, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then let me ask you this. Other than her telling you where she's at, how did you know where she was at?
I had her location and she had mine.
And can you explain to the jury what location means?
So pretty much on Find My iPhone, you can find where your family members, friends, whoever it may be, if they share access to that, you're able to see where they are.
And where was she located at?
281. No, close. I want to say close to TPC and Stone Parkway, close by there.
And through that text chain, there's times associated with each text.
Yes, sir.
And after 2:21 AM, you received no more texts from Alex, is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And did her location change at at points?
No, sir.
Did you end up getting contacted later by somebody
Yes, sir.
indicating that she had been in an accident?
Yes, sir.
Did she send you a photo that night?
Yes, sir.
And what do you recall that photo being?
The traffic that was, everyone was stopped on the highway.
And is this when she sent this to you when she was on the highway
Yes, sir.
for the location that you saw?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you what's marked State Exhibit number 75. Is this the photo that she sent you?
Yes, sir.
Is this the photo that she sent you right before she stopped corresponding with you?
Yes, sir.
And is this the photo that she sent of the traffic that was on 281?
Yes, sir.
And this is one that you received from Alex that night?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we'll ask to offer the evidence State Exhibit number 75. We'll send it to defense for any objections.
We approach you very briefly.
Yes. Defense, you wanted to take the witness outside the, on voir dire outside the presence of the jury?
I would do, Judge. Can I briefly see the document that the
Yes.
witness is referring to? That's my name.
Mean 70. Do you mean 74, the photo?
No, this is state exhibit number 74, Your Honor, the text chain that I was showing the witness.
And that's- cell phone now. Yeah, no, I've got that. No, no, sorry. Mr. Ben, can I just ask you a few questions? May I inquire very briefly, Judge?
Sure,
Can I approach the witness?
yes. Yes, it is.
We have spoken to just ask you a couple of questions. Yeah, I've got a busy document, but, do you remember speaking to the prosecutor before today?
Yes, sir.
And again, I don't mean to be insensitive. I'm very sorry for your loss. I am, but I've got a job to do. I have to ask you some questions. This text chain doesn't come from your cell phone. That's right, isn't it?
Correct, sir.
Because you deleted these off of your phone,
Yes, sir.
right? And you deleted this picture off your cell phone,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay, and so these. States Exhibit 74. You can't say this is from your phone,
Not from my phone, no, sir.
right? But you recognise States Exhibit 75.
I recognize both of them. Yes,
So
sir.
this isn't from your phone?
No, sir.
Okay, neither is this,
No, sir.
but you recognise 75. Right, okay. But you recall telling the prosecutor that you deleted all this off of your phone?
Yes, sir.
And you recall that moments before, or at the same time that Ms. Siebert sent you a photograph of States Exhibit 75, you'd agree with me that she told you she was thinking about turning round?
Yes, sir.
Judge, not no further questions.
Okay.
Yeah. No further questions, Judge.
All
That
right.
was it, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, I told the jury to come back at 4:08, so it's almost 4 o'clock. If anyone needs a short break, you could take it now.
Thank you.
The rule has been invoked. What that means is you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. If you need to speak to someone, you're only allowed to speak to attorneys for the state or the defense.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. State, it's still your witness.
Yes, Your Honor, and I believe well, I'm gonna reauthor State Exhibit number 75.
Any objection?
No
All
objection.
right, State's Exhibit number 75 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge. How many published to the jury?
Yes.
What's the? Let me ask some questions if you don't mind. I'll have State Exhibit number 75. This is what you received from Alex that night, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And as far as you know, well, one, do you recall or do you know now where the accident occurred? And I believe you said right before TBC on
Yes, sir.
31?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what are we looking at here? What do you notice this to be right here?
Brake lights, a lot of brake lights.
A lot of brake lights?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Everyone stopped in traffic.
And if you recall, I'm going to show you State Exhibit number 74. On that text string. It doesn't have the picture on there, but it shows a time that she sent this picture to you.
Yes, sir.
What time did she send it?
2:19.
And can you just speak up, please?
2:19.
Is that 2:19 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she stopped responding to you at 2:21 was her last response to you?
Yes, sir.
And let me ask you, what was her first text to you that night that occurred at 2:19:07 a.m.?
She said, bruh,
Bra?
kind of like bro.
All right. And that, I guess, for people who don't know, does that just mean what's up?
It's just like bro.
Okay, all right.
Like she was frustrated. That's just what she said
Okay.
when she.
And what did you respond to her about? Looks like 14 seconds later.
I said, what?
And then, is that when you received this photo?
Yes, sir.
And then what did she respond after she sent the photo?
She said, closed as far as the eye can see. And she said, literally, people are turning around.
Okay, so that's two different texts. One
Yes,
says
sir.
closed as far as the eye can see, and the other one was literally people are turning around.
Yes, sir. Seconds later. If that.
And then what did you respond?
I said, what the fuck? Want to stay here?
Well, you didn't say,
Or WTF.
okay. I mean, I knew what that one meant.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that you're, and then you asked, what did you ask her?
I asked her if she wanted to stay here at my place, like, turn around and come back.
And then what did she respond to you?
She said on the fucking highway, saying that people were trying to turn around on the highway.
Okay. And what did you respond after you received that?
I told her you're welcome to.
And what did you mean by that?
You're welcome to come back and stay at my place.
And then at 2:20 a.m., 2:20 and 16 seconds a.m., what did she respond?
She responded, no, it's okay.
And what's that? Is there an emoji or something on there?
Yeah, it just looks like the smiling with the teardrop right here, maybe just like saying
Okay.
she was stressed, didn't know what to do, but didn't want to turn around.
And then you go on to ask her what?
I said, how are you gonna get home? And she responded, I might turn around if it doesn't move soon.
She said, I might turn around if it doesn't move soon. Granted, she said she was on the highway.
Yes, sir.
And this photo, actually, Judge, may I publish it to the jury? I think you
Yes, sir.
already asked, 75, and that to them. And in fact, 76, I want to offer State Exhibit, oh, let me get it confirmed through. And this is just for the purpose for the easel here, but State Exhibit number 76, I'm going to show it just to the witness. Is this a large copy of the State Exhibit number 75?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask to enter this into evidence, Your Honor, for the purpose that we can put on the easel. It's a bigger version of what we have on a small piece of paper. We'll tender the defense for any objections.
And it is cumulative, Judge, but no objection.
All right, and the number, please?
Number 76, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit 76 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. Now, she's on the highway, obviously,
Yes, sir.
and she stated she's on the fucking highway, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so she's caught behind these vehicles, see tail lights. And then she says it's okay. So then you ask her after she says, I might turn around if it doesn't move soon. And what do you say?
I said, and come back here, right?
And then after that, it's all you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And
No,
Then-
can we approach for agreement?
All right, if you have a legal objection, make it.
I do to relevance, Judge, and reading from a document that's not in evidence.
All right, that'll be sustained.
you can't read directly from it, but if you can refresh your memory, just go ahead and read your text, okay? And
Yes,
then
sir.
don't read it off there.
I got you.
Did you respond to her at 2:28 AM at 15 seconds?
Yes, sir.
And what do you say?
Pretty sure I told her and come back here right again. And I kept reminding her that she could come back here and it's not a problem.
Okay, you can look at this piece of paper,
Okay.
okay? You just don't read
I can't
directly
read
from
it
it.
verbatim.
That's what the
Okay.
objection was, okay?
So Josh,
I talk, then you talk,
Yes,
all
sir.
right? But did you respond ever to something, asking her, "You better not fall asleep"?
Yes, sir.
And what time was that at?
That was at 2:28. And then I said, you okay, baby, at 2:34.
And then did you respond, did you also send something at 2:39?
Yes, sir.
And
Just,
what did you send?
babe,
Judge, I'm
just a
gonna,
question mark.
sorry, Judge, I'm gonna object again, the same
Sustained.
objection, thank you.
Again, you can look at it, then you can look up and respond. The objection means that you can't read directly from this document. It's not in evidence, okay? Okay. Did you also respond after that one?
Yes, sir.
And what time was that at?
2:54.
And what did you respond at that time?
Her name, or another version of her name.
And then on this last part that we have on this particular document, did you also send another text around 2:54 and 32 seconds?
Yes, sir. I said, practically saying,
Judge, same objection, witness.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Remember, you can refresh your memory. Just don't read directly from it and then answer the question, okay? What did you respond to her at that time then?
saying I was hoping she wasn't on the road asleep.
And you said asleep a couple times. When she left your house, was she tired?
No, sir.
And I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And how do you know she wasn't tired?
Because I always made sure before she went back home that she guaranteed that she was going to go back home every time she came over. She always wanted to go back to her dog. So I always told her if she's going to go back home late to at least take a nap or something before.
And so like, this is something that she normally did.
Yes, sir.
Has she ever fallen asleep before?
No, sir.
Did you ever let her go when she was tired?
No, sir.
When she left your house, was were her eyes open?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Was she on using any type of drug like marijuana?
No, sir.
Was she drinking excessively?
No, sir.
And at your house, did y'all do, did y'all work out or anything like that?
No, we were just watching movies on the couch.
So relatively relaxing day,
Yes, sir.
and she was going home that night.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Judge. May I approach you?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked today, exhibit number 78. Who is that?
Alex, Sarah,
And on that particular day, what was she doing?
taking graduation pictures.
And after that, this was a couple months before this accident happened, this crash, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna show you what's Park State Exhibit number 79. Do you know who that is in that picture?
Yes, sir. Alex, Sarah,
And where is she at in that picture?
hospital,
And do you know when that picture was taken?
the same night or morning.
The morning of?
Yeah, the crash.
This last picture I'm gonna show you is State Exhibit number 77. Do you know who's in that picture?
Sir, Alex Avery.
And this is Alex, the individual that you were dating that you're talking about today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank
We're gonna meet your folks on.
He hasn't offered anything yet.
No. I will offer State Exhibit number 78, Judge. No objection to 78.
All right, 78 is admitted without objection.
Can I send it to the?
Yes.
Jury for publication?
Yes.
No, we'll pass the witness.
Defense?
Mr. Ben, once again, we're very sorry for your loss, sir. That's genuine, with no further questions, thank you.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Okay. Excuse for us, Judge, no objection.
Excuse for us, CJ.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means, you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone. If there's someone you need to speak to, you're only allowed to speak to attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may step down. You're excused. All right, who is the next witness? And how long do y'all expect this witness to be?
I think maybe 15 minutes.
All right. Are you all okay with remaining for the next witness? All right. So call your next witness.
State calls Leslie Salazar.
You're right, Judge, you died.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, you can have a seat. You're gonna have to keep your voice up so the members of the jury can hear and the court reporter can hear. If you'll state your name for the record and spell it.
My name is Leslie Salazar, LESLIESALAZAR.
All right, and pull the microphone to you if you need to. State.
And Leslie, can you just make sure just that you're close enough to the microphone that everyone can hear you?
Yes,
And just a little closer, just because I'm having trouble.
yes,
Leslie, what side of town, well, do you live in San Antonio?
yes.
What side of town do you live on?
Stone Oak, north side,
So do you often have to take 281 to get home?
every time.
And have you ever had to call 911 while going home on 281?
Yes,
I'm not approach was what's been marked as safe exhibit number 80. Leslie, do you recognize this disc?
yes.
What is this?
My 911 phone call.
And again, can you speak just a little louder?
Yes, my 911 phone call.
And have you had a chance to listen to the call that's on this disc?
Yes,
And is this a true and accurate copy of the call you made that night?
yes.
Your Honors, state would offer states exhibit number 80 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, state's exhibit number 80 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish.
Granted.
San Antonio 911, does the authority need police, fire, or EMS?
I think the police, it's heading to 81 north. I don't know if you know, but there's I believe a car accident or something happened. But, at the end, I had gotten off the freeway because I knew that there was like all the cars stopped. And I had my windows down and I heard it screech and then I heard like a crash and there was like dust. So I think there's a car that crashed, that's behind the entire line of people waiting to get through. I just wanna make sure.
Where is that though? That car that you're talking about?
Let me see if I can figure out the exit that I left, cause it's like. Oh my gosh, I have no clue. Can I tell you what's like around me?
Are you next to the vehicle that was involved in the accident?
No, I was getting off the I got off the freeway and so I had my windows down and I heard like, I feel like your tires maybe popped or something, cause I can hear like the tires like dun, dun, dun. When it was going on the freeway, so I looked at it, got to the stop and I heard like a screech and then a poof, and then there was like smoke.
Yes, but
So I think the car crashed that.
I'm showing you on Stono. Did you exit on Stono?
Yes,
Do you think the vehicle's somewhere near there?
yes, I'm probably like on the freeway right across from it. I parked.
Do you think it's on the northbound side?
Yes, it is. It's by, there's like a plaza, like a Target and stuff like that. It's by there. Yeah, like that, the freeway. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at saying this. I just really don't know. You know what? I can see if I can, like, act like I'm getting back on the freeway to see that I pull.
Yeah, it's okay, Malcolm. I'll just send someone to look around the area. What's your name and phone number?
My name is Leslie Salazar. And my phone number is 210-286-6947. I don't know if that was too bad.
A line of cars. What do you mean by that?
I guess the freeway was blocked off by an accident way ahead. And so there was just cars, I guess, waiting for the accident to go ahead and be moved over to get through.
And how many cars were there?
Maybe like 100 to 200 cars.
And how far away could you see these cars while you were driving on the highway?
Pretty far.
Were you able to exit in time before you reached the traffic?
Yes.
Do you remember what exit did you take before, in order to get off the highway?
I don't remember.
You also remember, you described in that call an HEB truck.
Yes.
Can you describe, what do you mean by an HEB truck?
Like a semi truck, the delivery trucks with like the HEB logo on it.
Leslie, I want you to step down really quickly. Well, I'm going to show you what's already been marked as safety exhibit number 76. Now, I know I haven't shown you this photo before, but do you recognize anything that you see in this photo? Saw that night? Can you say it louder? You can have a seat. So where were you when you heard this crash?
I was getting off the freeway and I made like a left turn. And while I was like under the freeway, it's when I heard like a tire pop because my windows were down. And then I passed the light and I looked behind because I can kind of hear like what I assumed to be like a rim going like dun dun dun. So I just looked back. I couldn't see anything because I was again the freeway's like high up and I was like under it, but just in case. And so I just looked back and then I heard it screech and then like slide and hit the wall. What I assumed to be the wall, just because there was like either smoke or debris, dust, whatever. And then that's when I called 911.
And why did you call 911?
Just because, I mean, there was already an accident, so I thought dispatch would be like on site. And with with people coming, I thought they would kind of get lost in the middle of everything. So I just wanted somebody to be aware that something happened in case somebody was injured or anything like that.
And when you exited before the traffic buildup, was anyone else exiting around you? Were there any other cars?
Yeah, there was a ton of cars trying to exit.
Ask the witness.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Salazar. My name is Jasmine Olguin. I'm one of Mr. Castro's attorneys. I just have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
First, kind of the scene and what it looked like. So when you're driving on the highway, before you exit, you kind of see some sort of commotion going on ahead of you.
Yes,
But you described other cars also turning around.
going in reverse.
So they were going the wrong way
They were going the opposite way.
to exit from that
Yes.
point. And did you see any police flares right before that accident?
So the accident, like I said, was way ahead. So I assumed dispatch was on site. I didn't know because there was all these cars and I exited to just avoid all that.
So from where you were, you weren't able to see if there was any police flares.
Mm-mm.
And were you able to see if there were any police lights, the blue and red ones?
No,
Were you able to see any police officers wearing vests from your point of view?
no,
And you mentioned that you were aware there was an accident. Were you aware that that accident that caused this buildup was because of a wrong way driver?
no,
Were you aware that this accident was caused because a potential intoxicated driver was going the wrong way on the highway?
no,
And were you aware that that driver was named Shayna Lassel?
I'm gonna object to relevance.
no,
Sustained.
So you weren't aware of the reasons for this initial accident. You got off and you said you saw about maybe 100 or 200 cars in front of you.
yes,
And you called 911 because you felt that people would be lost in the middle of everything and you wanted police to be aware of that.
yeah,
And you hoped that with your call, police could protect this scene and help those people that were stuck in traffic.
yeah, more so like a clue of where they would be at. Like I said, there was just a ton of cars.
No further questions, Your Honor, pass the witness.
Just one question on redirect, Judge. Leslie, is it fair to say that it would have been fairly obvious to anyone?
Objection, Your Honor, it's speculation.
All right, let me hear the question, then you can make your objection, then I'll answer. They're gonna ask a question. The defense may make an objection. When you see either party stand, you need to stop speaking. All right, state.
So Leslie, is it fair to say that it would have been fairly obvious to anyone that there was traffic on that highway?
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Sustained. Don't answer. That's what that
Okay.
means.
Were you able to tell that there was traffic on that highway?
Yes,
And so is that why you exited?
yes,
And again, there were other cars exiting, is that correct?
yes.
Nothing from the state judge.
Defense? Any recross?
Yes, Your Honor. So Ms. Salazar, there were cars that were trying to get away from this traffic that were reversing back to get off. Yes. And you would agree that that could be a confusing scene for anybody?
I'm gonna object to speculation.
Sustained.
You would agree that you called 911 because you wanted them to be aware of this situation that was confusing and ongoing? Yes. No further questions, Your Honor. Not the witness.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excuse from us, Judge.
Excuse from the state, Judge.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. If you're speaking to anyone, the only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may step down. All right, and state your next witness. How long are you anticipating?
Relatively short, Judge.
All right, call your next
The
witness.
state calls Jonathan Rodriguez.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record and spell it, please.
Jonathan Rodriguez, JONATHANRODRIGUEZ.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so members of the jury and the court reporter can hear. State.
Mr. Rodriguez, what side of town do you live on?
North 1604 in near the Stone Oak area.
So in order to get home, is it fair to say that you'd have to take 281?
Yes.
How often do you have to drive on 281?
I want to say at least once a week.
And I'm gonna approach what's been marked as state exhibit number 81. Do you recognize this disc?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
This is you guys showed me this when I came to visit.
Yeah, and what's on this disc?
The 911 call that my wife made.
And is it a true and accurate copy of the call that the 911 call that your wife made?
Yes.
Your Honors, state what offer states exhibit number 81.
Any objection?
We do, Judge. If the state is offering a 911, we can approach her from here.
What's the objection?
Well, we've got a right to confront the witness who is the caller, and this is the wrong witness.
State.
Your Honor, I can clarify.
All right.
So, Mr. Rodriguez, were you present when your wife made that 911 call?
Yes.
And why did your wife make that 911 call?
Because I was driving.
And you listened to the call, and is it correct for me to say that everything that you said on the call, or that your wife said on the call, is something that you told her?
Correct.
And do we actually hear you on the 911 call?
We do.
So again, is it fair to say you were present for the 911 call? And well, what exactly are you talking about on the 911 call?
The accident that we witnessed.
And so you're calling 911 to report an accident?
Correct.
Again, Your Honor, state would reoffer state's exhibit number 81.
Judge, it's hearsay, and without a witness to support it, that we.
Can you talk louder? I'm sorry.
Sorry, ma'am, it's that, what I think is on that.
All right, so let me stop everybody. Have you heard the 911, Kate?
Yes, I have, Judge, and
Okay.
the witness has stated that it's his wife he was present, but if state is playing that 911 call, then we should be able to have an opportunity to cross-examine her, Judge. I've got no problem with this witness testifying, and we can talk about his perceptions.
All right,
but
so
objection
here's
to
the
that.
thing, everyone, we're gonna make legal objections. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're gonna stop for today. We're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna start back tomorrow at 1:30. You've heard some evidence in this case. You're not allowed to start talking about what you've heard. You're not allowed to think about this case outside of this courtroom. Do not Google anything. Do not try to do your own research. Everything that you're to know about this case is to come from inside this courtroom and nowhere else. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
All right, so we'll be back tomorrow at 1:30. We can go off the record. 1:30, what ends up happening is usually people will go to lunch, and I call it going off campus. A lot of people will leave the parking garage at 12:15 to go off campus for lunch. So spaces will open up. So if you make it here by 12:30, there'll probably be a space available for you. If you try to cut it close and say, I'll be here at 1:15, that's when other people are trying to make it back to come back to work, and other jurors are trying to make it back if they have to come back. Again, you all know what's available for you in the jury room.